Good morning, football fans. This is Jake from Iowa here with my first video on the 2020 Minnesota Vikings, the Vikings in general. I'll also be covering the NFL, NFC North, stuff like that. I hope you enjoy. This is my first video. Feedback is appreciated. So today I want to talk to you about Justin Jefferson, the Vikings' first-round pick. He was their first-round pick in the 2020 draft because they did have two. First one, they used it on Justin Jefferson. Second one, Jeff Gladney, which we will cover in a future video. But let's get right into it. So, Justin Jefferson played for the national champion LSU Tigers. Go Tigers. He was a 3-year player there under Ed Orgeron. Played high school football there in the New Orleans area. So it was a no-brainer to go to LSU. He had two other brothers to play at LSU. Jordan was a quarterback for LSU from 2008 to 2011, and Ricky Jefferson was a safety from 2013 to 2016. In 2019, Justin Jefferson had a boatload of stats for the LSU Tigers. He had 111 receptions, 1,540 yards, and 13.9 average receptions. Every pass he caught averaged out 13.9 yards per reception, and a whopping 18 touchdowns. Jefferson stands at 6'1", 202 pounds. He's got the NFL height. He's got the NFL size. Ran a 4.43 40 at the combine. And a 37-inch vertical. That's pretty good, ladies and gentlemen. That's a pretty high vertical for a receiver. You like the speed. You basically in the combine, you make sure that nothing's missing. He showed the speed that he showed on tape, and he showed the jumping ability that he showed on tape. So, one thing that I noticed from watching the tape, Jefferson's a very good route runner. Even though he played the majority of his snaps from the slot, he is a good route runner. He gets separation. He knows how to settle in zone to find open spots in the zone. Another thing, yards after the catch. The dude can run, and he can run in the open field when he gets the ball. A lot of times LSU would throw some shorter passes across the middle. Jefferson would catch it and then run. Reminds me a lot of Diggs. Diggs had a yard after the catch ability. Diggs was a good route runner. I'm not saying Jefferson will replace Diggs. That's not what I'm saying. But you can definitely see a lot of the similar ways the two wide receivers play. A lot of similarities between each other. Third thing, he caught a lot of contested catches at LSU. So, another comp to Diggs. Diggs was the number one receiver leading in contested catches. Justin Jefferson caught a lot of contested balls at LSU. Once again, I'm not saying that he's going to replace Diggs, but he is very comparable to the way he plays to Stephon Diggs. A couple negatives that could hurt him. Out of his 111 receptions, 100 of those came from the slot. Now, obviously, I think he can play outside. I think he can play in the slot. But that might have been just how LSU schemed it up. They had Jamar Chase, who is a true outside receiver, and they probably want to take advantage of a lot of the mismatches that come with slot receivers. 17 of his 18 touchdowns were caught in the slot. That's a lot of slot snaps, a lot of slot receptions, a lot of slot touchdowns. However, with his route running and his contested catch ability and ability to get release and space, he's got the speed, he's got the vertical. The dude can play outside. Will there be a learning curve? I'm sure there will be. But the dude can play outside. I'm not worried about it. One thing that kind of, I guess, would hurt him is he had the Heisman Trophy winner throwing him the ball every day. He had LSU, in my opinion, was leaps and bounds ahead of everybody last year. So Jefferson had a lot of opportunities to get more receptions, statistics, stuff like that, because Joe Burrow wasn't making very many errant throws. Any poor throws, he wasn't overthrowing hardly anybody. He wasn't missing throws. He wasn't throwing behind receivers on crossing routes. So he had a lot of opportunities to get extra catches, whereas other receivers probably wouldn't. For example, Courtney Davis, the Vikings UDFA, their quarterback play was terrible last year. So that LSU was a monster last year. I wouldn't say that hurts Jefferson, and I don't think that's why he fell a little bit, but it doesn't really help him either when you got the Heisman Trophy winner throwing you the ball every day. And you got Jamar Chase, which in all actuality was the best outside receiver for LSU and probably the nation. You can make a case. So obviously the opposing team's best cornerback is probably not going on Justin Jefferson. And he was in the slot. So does it hurt him? Maybe. Not really, in my opinion. But it is something to be aware of. And one thing that I like about players is when they show up for big games. Justin Jefferson, in the first round of the college football playoff last year when LSU played Oklahoma, had 4 touchdowns. How can you be down on a guy who caught 4 touchdowns in the college football playoff? The biggest game probably of his life. 4 touchdowns, 227 yards. Overall, I think Justin Jefferson was an A-plus pick. I can't really find anything wrong with the guy. I don't know why he was not the, first couple receivers picked. I'm certainly happy that the Vikings got him. I think he was their guy all along. I give this pick an A+. But that concludes the video. If you got any feedback for me, this is my first video, so I would greatly appreciate it. Skol Vikings, and I'll talk to you guys next time.